Hare Krishna, let's do Radha Madhav. Jai Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunj Bihari, Jai Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunj Bihari, Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha, Jaya Gir Vardhari, Shodanandana Vrajjana Ranjana, Shodanandana Vrajjana Ranjana, Yamuna Tiravanachari, Jai Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jai Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Agyan Timirandhasya Gyan Anjana Shalakya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Nama Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadam Hayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uttapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Krishna Setam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitam Scha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sutadevi Puranmami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatu Brehescha Kirpa Sindhubevacha Patitana Pavnebhyo Vaishnebhyo Namo 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 Vishnupadaya Krishna Vastamutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Dishatarine Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasti Gaur Bhaktivedanta. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Mukham Groti Vachalam Pangum Langyate Garim Yat Kirpatam Vandashi Gurundin Taranam Paramananda Madham Shitaneshram Hari Om Tassat Narayan Namaskritya Naram Cheva Naruttamam Devim Sasvityasam Tato Jamaduriyat Nashta Presha Abdreshu Nityamausaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhakti Bhakti Neshtiki. Okay, Hare Krishna everyone. So last time we were talking about the conversation between the bull which is represented, or Dharma which is represented by the bull, and planet Earth represented by the cow, the conversation between them, and how the bull was standing on one leg of Dharma, there's just the one leg left. And we're talking about the importance of sacrifice, which unless you do sacrifice, bhakti does not start until you do some kind of sacrifice. You live in a weak karma life, just a sinful life, and you're totally in control of Maya because you're not following any kind of regulation, any system, or putting God with you, even if it's just the agents of God, the demigods, in the center of what you do, or you know what you are looking for. So otherwise you just do what feels right and you just carry on at your whim, do things, but there's no mention of God or any connection with God, then that is, that is a sinful life. And he also says that peace of mind can only be achieved by protecting the cows, bulls, and the brahmanas, Brahmanical culture. Without that, you may get prosperity, like these people selling, they got multiple stores selling burgers, etc. They got prosperity, but they can never get peace of mind by living that kind of life. So let's continue with verse 21. Okay. So verse 21. Akshamanaha striya urvi balan sochasi atho purushade ivritan vacham devim brahmkule kukramani abhramane rajkule kulagrayan. So Arksha Manaha, unprotected, Istriya, women, Urvi, on the earth, Balan, children, Sochasi, you are feeling compassion, Atho, as such, Purush Adihi, by cannibals, Rakshas, and evil like that, Artan, those who are unhappy, Vacham, vocabulary, Devim, the goddess, Brahma Kule, in the family of Brahmana, Kukramani, acts against a principal religion, Abrahmane, persons against the Brahmanical culture, Raj Kule, in the administrative family, Kul Argyan, most of all the families, the Brahmanas. So this is a conversation between the cow and the bull. Are you feeling compunction for the unhappy women and children who are left forlorn by unscrupulous persons? Or are you unhappy because the goddess of learning is being handled by Brahmanas, addicted to acts against the principles of religion? Or are you sorry to see that the Brahmanas have taken shelter of administrative families that do not respect Brahmanical culture? So Srila Prabhupada explains that in the age of Kali, the women and the children, along with the Brahmanas and the cows. So earlier we talked about the Brahmanas and the cows, and now, cows and bulls, and now we've included women and children in there as well, will be grossly neglected and left unprotected. So Brahmanas were unprotected, cows and bulls were unprotected, and also women and children in the Kali Yuga are unprotected. In this age, illicit connection with women will render many women and children uncared for. Circumstantially, the women will try to become independent of the protection of men, and marriage will be formed as a matter of formal agreement between man and woman. In most cases, the children will not be taken care of properly. So usually you see a lot of marriages, the wife brings some children and the husband brings some children, and the stepbrothers and stepsisters and his stepmother and his stepfather. There's a lot of that kind of arrangements that is there. The Brahmanas are traditionally intelligent men, and thus they will be able to pick up modern education to the topmost rank. But as far as moral and religious principles are concerned, they shall be the most fallen. The most fallen. Education and bad character go ill together. But such things will run parallel. The administrative heads as a class will condemn the tenets of Vedic wisdom and will prefer to conduct a so-called secular state, and the so-called educated Brahmanas will be purchased by such unscrupulous administrators. Even as philosopher and writer of many books on religious principles may also accept an exalted post in a government which denies all the moral codes of the Shastras. The Brahmanas are specifically restricted from accepting such service, but in this age they will not only accept service, but they will do so even if it's the meanest, it is of the meanest quality. These are some of the symptoms of the Kali age which are harmful to the general welfare of human society. So that is 21. Just continued on from where we were talking before. How much decline there is in following Vedic culture, and it's all about sense gratification and gathering wealth at the cost of all these things. In the Brahmanas, they really don't care about the culture, that they're happy to work for anyone by any means, as long as there's good payments coming to them. So the culture is no longer there in the Kali Yuga. This is why the bull is also suffering and the cow is suffering. Kim shatar bandhun kalino prastristan rashtra nivater avropitani itas tato vashan pan vasaha sananan vyavya yon mukha jeev lokam. So came whether Shatra Bandhu, the unworthy administrators, Kalina by the influence of the age of Kali, Upasristan bewildered, Rashtrani state affairs, Va o tahi by them, Avropitani put into disorder, Itha hya tatha de, Va o ashan accepting foodstuffs, Pan drink, Vasa residence, Sanan bath, Vya via sexual intercourse, Anmukh inclined, Jeev lokam, human society. So the so-called administrators are now bewildered by the influence of this age of Kali, and thus they have put all state affairs into disorder. Are you now lamenting this disorder? Now the general populace does not follow the rules and regulations for eating, sleeping, drinking and mating. And this is what we talk about vikarma. They're not following any regulation whatsoever, and they're inclined to perform such anywhere and everywhere. Are you unhappy because of this? There are some necessities of life on a par with those of the lower animals. So while you're just doing eating, sleeping, pairing and mating, or defending and mating, it's very similar to the animals. These bodily demands are for both the human beings and the animals. So we know better than the animals. But the human beings has to fulfill such desires, not like animals, but like a human being. So the desires are all there, but they must be, everything must be regulated. The eating should be regulated, sleeping should be regulated, defending should be regulated, and mating should be regulated. So a dog can mate with a bitch before the public eyes without hesitation. But a human being does so, the act will be considered a public nuisance and the person will be criminally prosecuted. So at least that much is against the human laws or man's law. But if a human being does, therefore for the human being there are some rules and regulations even for fulfilling common demands. The human society avoids such rules and regulations when it is bewildered by the influence of the age of Kali. In this age, people are indulging in such necessities of life without following the rules and regulations, and this deterioration of social and moral rules is certainly lamentable because of the harmful effects of such a beastly behavior. In this age, the fathers and the guardians are not happy with the behavior of their wards. They should know that so many innocent children are victims of bad association avoided by the influence of the age of Kali. We know from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam that Ajamil, an innocent son of a Brahman, was walking down the road and saw a Shudra pair sexually embracing. This attracted the boy, and later on the boy became a victim of all debaucheries. From a pure Brahman, he fell down on the position of a wretched urchin, and it was all due to bad association. There was but one victim like Ajamil in those days, but in this age of Kali, the poor innocent students are daily victims of cinemas which attract men only for sex indulgence. the so-called administrators are all untrained in the affairs of a Kshatriya. And now we have the internet, and which is a very good thing, but it's been misused and it affects all the population of any age. The Kshatriyas are meant for administration, and the Brahmins are meant for knowledge and guidance. The word Kshatrabandhu refers to so-called administrators or persons promoted to the post of administrator without proper training by culture and tradition. Nowadays, they are promoted such posts by the votes of the people who are themselves fallen in the rules and regulations of life. So anybody who agrees with their way of thinking, the way of living, if you get freedom of choice, live life of sense gratification, people will definitely vote for those people. How can such people select a proper man when they are themselves fallen in the standard of life? Therefore, by the influence of the age of Kali, everywhere, politically, socially, religiously, everything is topsy-turvy, and therefore for the sane man it is all regrettable. So the people who are choosing are no better than the person they have chosen. So in their own way, they're all happy to do what they're doing. So Srila Prabhupada explained from the Manu Smriti, describes the sins from the body, from the mind, and from the words. So sins from the body: killing a Brahman or a priest, stealing, adultery, drinking alcohol, eating prohibited foods, causing injury or harm to others. So stealing, adultery, drinking alcohol and eating prohibited foods is not a man's law, that's God's law. Causing injury or harm to others, that's a man's law as well. So out of 6, 4 are man's law and God's law, and there's 2 just God's law. And sins from the mind: hatred, anger, envy, jealousy, greed. So these are anarthas. And then sins, and ignorance as well. Hatred, anger, envy, jealousy, greed, and ignorance. These are all considered sinful. Sins from words, what are they? Lying, so telling lies. Speaking harshly and rudely. Gossiping, that's also a sin. Speaking ill of others, so criticizing others. Using abusive language. These are sins from words. Lying, speaking harshly or rudely, gossiping, speaking ill of others, using abusive language. So this is Vedic culture. We should understand. Most people don't know this, that doing a bit of gossip and doing a bit of swearing, and when you're angry, speak rudely, or somebody really gets on your nerves and you speak rudely and harshly to them. And people lie as well. They think it's okay to lie. So all these things are actually considered sinful. So we have to be very careful of this when we're following Vedic culture. Sins of the body, sins of the mind, and sins of the speech, of the words. And that seems to be the culture right now. Okay, 23. Yadvamat bhuri bharavatar kritav atarasya hare daritri antarhitsya samriti vishrishta karmani nirvan vilambitani. So Yadva, that may be Amba, O mother, Te yo, Buri, heavy, Bhar, load, Avatar, decreasing the load, Krita, done, Avatarasya, one who incarnated, Hare, of Lord Shri Krishna, Daritri, of earth, antarhitasya, of him who is now out of sight, smriti, while thinking of, visrashta, all that were performed, karmani, activities, nirvan, salvation, vilambitani, that which entails. So the weight on the earth is really due to sinful activities. That is more heavier than our weight, of the entities. O Mother Earth, the Supreme Personality Godhead, Hari, incarnating himself as Lord Shri Krishna, just to unload your heavy burden of sinners, of sin. All his activities here are transcendental and they cement the path of liberation. You are now bereft of his presence. You are probably now thinking of those activities and feeling sorry in their absence. So the activities of the Lord include liberation, but they are more relishable than the pleasure derived from nirvana or liberation, but they are more relishable. So according to Srila Jiva Goswami and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, the word used here is nirvan vilambitani, that which minimizes the value of liberation. To attain nirvan, liberation, one has to undergo a severe type of tapasya, austerity. But the Lord is so merciful that he incarnates to diminish the burden of the earth. Simply by remembering such activities, one can defy the pleasure derived from nirvana and reach the transcendental abode of the Lord to associate with him, eternally engaged in his blissful, loving service. So, says the process of Krishna consciousness is susukham kartum. It is blissfully performed. Anandam buddhi vardhanam is the result. So only blissfully performed, and there is only bliss that comes out of it, unlimited amount of bliss that comes out of it, which is not there in liberation. Excuse me. So idan amachakshva tavadi mulam vasundare yena vikratshitasi. Excuse me. Kalena vata balinam baliyasa sura chitam kimhritam amb so bhagam. So idam, this mum unto me, achakshva, kindly inform, tavyo adi mulam, the root cause of your tribulations, vasundare, O reservoir of all riches, yena, by which, vikarashita asi, reduced to much weakness, kalena, by the influence of time, va o te yo, bali nam, very powerful, bali yasa, more powerful, Sur Architam, adored by demigods, Kim Veda Hiritam, taken away, Amba, mother, Sobhagam, virtue. So the interesting thing is that the bull himself is standing on one leg, and yet he's sympathizing with Mother Earth and trying to find out, what's her reason, why she upset. It's amazing. Mother, you are the reservoir of all riches. Please inform me of the root cause of your tribulations by which you have been reduced to such a weak state. I think that the powerful influence of time, which conquers the most powerful, might have forcibly taken away all your fortune, which was adored even by the demigods. So by the grace of the Lord, each and every planet is created fully equipped. So not only is this earth fully equipped with all the riches for the maintenance of its inhabitants, but also when the Lord descends to the earth, the whole earth becomes so enriched with all kinds of opulences that even the denizens of heaven worship it with all affection. But by the will of the Lord, the whole earth can at once be changed. He can do and undo a thing by his sweet will. Therefore, no one should consider himself to be self-sufficient or independent of the Lord. So it says that by the grace of the Lord, each and every planet is created fully equipped. So when the earth is created, everything else is created with it. It's all these the treasures, and the soil is fertile for growing crop. The water is there, which is drinkable. The heat is just right, so we don't suffer from extreme heat. Everything, and the oxygen is also there. Everything is provided within within the atmosphere. We are surrounded by atmosphere. When we go out the atmosphere above, there is no oxygen, right? So it's all here, and because of the atmosphere, we don't even feel the earth is moving. It's moving so fast, going round and round, but we don't feel it because we are sort of in a what you would call it
vacuum.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say vacuum, but
special atmosphere.
Yeah, so we have this. We are enclosed in an environment that protects us, and we don't even feel the spinning of the earth and the revolving of the earth like that. So we're very, very much protected. Everything is provided according to our body, or when we're given that kind of body, which is conducive to the conditions of planet Earth. And other planets may have different kind of conditions and different kind of body to match. So like that. So Krishna. So we're given all these things, this body and the environment by the Lord. We're not independent of Him. Everything is thought out. It's all controlled. How can we be independent? We have no control over this body. That this we're going to look like this. We're going to have this much height. We're going to have this kind of color, these kind of features. We have no control. According to karma, we get a certain type of body, and then whatever's there, the atmosphere for us to live and survive from a childhood to old age, is all provided. We do not create anything. We manipulate things, but we cannot create anything. Everything is created by God, and we take those things and then we just manipulate them for our requirement. So it says we don't have the capacity to do any service. It's Krishna's blessings. So it goes a bit further to say that we don't have the capacity to do even any service, or even to come and listen to Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. It's Krishna's blessings that we have the power, the strength, ability to even do the service. And even hearing is one of the services. Shravanam. We can easily become devoid of all abilities, and with age, hearing goes, sight goes, teeth go, everything else. Whatever I have is the mercy of Krishna. Whatever I'm able to do is the mercy of Krishna. That should be our meditation. This is why we always got to remember Krishna and never forget Krishna, because whatever, even moving, our working senses, when they are moving, is all thanks to Krishna. They can stop, and they do stop, right? People's ability to move their arms or legs. You see people in wheelchairs because they lost the ability to move the legs. We don't have any control. That doesn't mean we should abuse our bodies, but we do our best endeavor. But despite our endeavor, sometimes we can lose the ability, because ultimately it's in the hands of the Lord. So very, very important that we remember these things. They should always be there. Then how can we forget Krishna? Well, do this final one. Dharani ovacha bhavan hi vedatat sarvam yanmam dharmanu prishyasi chaturbir vartase yena pade loka sukhavahi. So Dharani ovacha, which is Mother Earth, replied, Bhavan, your good self, he certainly Veda know tat sarvam, all that you have inquired from me, yet that mam from me, dharma, personality, religious principles, Anuprachasi, you have inquired one after another. Chaturbihi, by 4. Vartase, you exist. By which? Yena. Padahi, by the legs. Loka, in each and every planet. Sukha avahi, increasing the happiness. So the earthly deity in the form of a cow. So everything has a presiding deity. We have earthly deity, but here she's in the form of a cow. Just reply to the person in religious principles in the form of a bull. O Dharma, whatever you inquire from me shall be known to you. I shall try to reply to all those questions. Once you too were maintained by your 4 legs and your increased happiness all over the universe by the mercy of the Lord. So it's like she reminding him that you should know. Anyway, you had 4 legs as well one time, and now you only got 1, so you know things are not right as they should be. The principles of religion are laid down by the Lord Himself. And the executor of such laws or executor of such laws is Dharmaraj or Yamraj. Such principles work fully in the age of Satyayug. So the bull has all 4 legs. In the Treta Yuga, they are reduced by a fraction of the 1/4. In the Dwapar Yuga, they are reduced to 1/2. So only 2 legs left. So 3 legs left in the Treta Yuga. And in the Dwapar Yuga, they are reduced to 1/2. And so 2 legs. And in the Kali Yuga, they are reduced to 1/4, 1 leg. Gradually diminishing to the 0 point. So even that 1 leg, the one part of which I believe is truthfulness, it will be slowly diminished. Then devastation takes place. Happiness in the world depends proportionately on the maintenance of the religious principles. Individually or collectively, the best part of valor is to maintain the principles despite all kinds of odds. Thus one can be happy during the span of life and ultimately return to Godhead. So even though in the age of Kali Yuga, these principles are lost, Dharma is standing on 1 leg, but Srila Prabhupada again, he has reminded us of all these things that we should be following the Dharma, austerity, truthfulness, mercy, like that. So Srila Prabhupada, that's why we have the 4 regulations as well, because they follow these things. And so we ignore what the rest of the 7 billion population is doing. We follow the Vedic way, and then says that we can happy do the span of life and ultimately return back to Godhead. We have to follow the Vedic culture. And in order to do that, if we follow the Kali Yuga culture, then we'll remain here, and then, like I said, that we'll be transferred to another universe, another planet where Kali Yuga is going on, and then we can continue living birth after birth. So just to quickly add, so explains that principles of religion are laid down by the Lord Himself. If we execute those principles, we are protected by Dharma. That's the thing. So we have to follow those principles. Our happiness is proportionate to how much we follow religious Dharma. So even if we are the only one in the vicinity who is following, we will still be happy. As Kali Yuga progresses, you will stick out like a sore thumb because you will be happy and everybody else will be miserable. The media, the advertising is about breaking religious principles. Our spiritual strength will be checked by us continuing to follow these principles. You will never go against Krishna consciousness. Some examples are King Harishchandra, Prahlad Maharaj. They refuse to follow. They've got a lot of bombardment, some torture and influence from close family, but they refuse to change their way, and so mercy, truthfulness, cleanliness, like that. We have to stick to it. We cannot we cannot be bombarded, or we cannot be influenced by the bombardment of media. It does, like we're doing this now, but then you see, you may listen to the news or see some advertisements, and they just they're trying to sell you something, or some food which is made of meat, or what else, everything is about sense gratification, and showing these like models and beautiful women to entice you, or if you do this, if you wear this, links of, you get the links effect and all sorts of things. It's all to do, it's all against religious principles, and like we get, if we keep watching it long enough, we get influenced by it. So association is very, very important. So I'll leave it here. So Srila Prabhupada has explained to us, so be careful, Maya is all around us, and Maya never gives up. It will come in some form or the other. Even if you don't watch the media, you still get, people are out there, just like a Jamil, you can very easily get influenced. So we have to have a bhakti, make it strong. Our sadhana should be strong, our mind should be strong, intelligence should be strong, senses should be strong. Keep working on them, chant hard, and we can go through this. Hare Krishna. So thank you so much, and let me see, some reason. So we'll start with Hina Mataji and then Kiran Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Hare Krishna everyone. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I guess my key observations from these verses is that obviously these try to summarize how fallen this age is, and how it will become as Kali Yuga also progresses in due time. So obviously we're very much in the early stages, but I think we've already got the signs of how bad it's potentially going to get. And what these verses demonstrate and give some examples of is the decline in spiritual wisdom, and that how value and spiritual values, how they'll start to decrease, be an increase in dharma and irreligious principles, and Maya simply connotates more of a hold on the jivas. As time progresses, they'll just be more and more bewildered and in ignorance, essentially. But we've just celebrated Gaur Purnima yesterday, and I think I was kind of counting my blessings, how fortunate we are that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in this age, in this Kali Yuga, just 540 years ago, and he demonstrated the way, really. He demonstrated the path. So that's all we've got to do, really, is just follow his simple instructions. And he set the benchmark, he set the guidelines, like this is how you get out of this age, almost. So and that is just through devotional service, through the association of devotees, through chanting. So the main limbs of bhakti, essentially, and just keep focus on that, really. Let's not try and get too entangled in what's going on in the world around us in this age, and just stay 100% focused, laser focused on this path. So those were my sentiments from yesterday as well. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. And Prabhupada mentions that we'll stick out like a sore thumb as time progresses, because hopefully we won't be here, when that time comes. But at the moment, a lot of people are embracing spirituality, and less, people who are below us, help them. Who are higher than us, we serve them and get their blessings, and we can ask them questions. So like that, either way. So both are good. Taking advice from the seniors, taking their blessings. Mahaprabhu recognizes that, and when we help the juniors, Mahaprabhu recognizes that as well. That you are, you are the gardener. He is the gardener, and he says, "Help me." There's so many unlimited entities, and I'm only one gardener, and I cannot give the fruits of love to everyone on my own. I need your support. This is why they had the Lord Chaitanya tree and Nityananda. The branches are there, and we are part of that tree. Now that we join Vaishnavism, we are part of that tree, and it's our responsibility as well to help people and become, get them to become part of that tree. And please, Lord Mahaprabhu and Lord Chaitanya. So yeah, thank you so much, Mataji. Kiran Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everybody. Wow, amazing verses as always. The cow and the bull are chewing the cud. They're discussing the degradation of society. Over the yugas, the degradation was happening in a slower way. Now you can see an incremental degradation that is occurring. It's a tsunami of degradation that is occurring. And the earthly deities are the cow. And what we do to nature, what we do to the cows, what you sow is what you will reap. And we are seeing the fruits of that annihilation of nature. And the degradation is signified by the experience of the bulls and the cows. And the suffering is insurmountable. I have walked past abattoirs and have seen and have heard the crying of animals who know they're going up to be slaughtered. Degradation in our lives and our society, men's roles, women's roles, women being used for purposes which are not just for propagation and promotion of society and for bringing children up. Power dynamics where roles are reversed and hence you get conflict at home. Brahmins who are supposed to be carrying out their Brahminical duties steeped in all sorts of shenanigans. A Brahmin in Leicester was almost doing a business whilst he was performing religious wedding ceremonies as well. Married man, Brahmin, children, had another life. He used to go to clubs in the evening. Not only did he go to clubs, he was also gay. And in the end, this gay man, because of his jealousies for this Brahmin, killed him. This is the degradation of the Kali Yuga. Sins will follow one after another. As a social worker, I used to take me ages to work out which child belongs to which mother and father. Multiple children from multiple fathers and mothers. One family would have 4 or 5 different fathers. And hence, no wonder we have a degradation of society. Even Ajmela was influenced by the lure of desire. Desires will come and go. We will have desires because that is what humanity and humans are. But unlike animals, we have to learn to regulate those desires to place them in the right place, the right time, and the right moment. Time, place, and circumstances, which makes us distinct from animals. And this is the behavior that will make us better Vaishnavas and bring us closer to divinity. And if we can be engaged in seva, donation, and serving, being the servant of the servant, will make us better people. Do not cause any more distress than that is already existing. The world is full of chaos, unjust wars, deception, lies, and Kali Yuga. Atma and Paramatma reside close to each other like the cow and the bull. They're talking to each other, talk to the Paramatma daily to find wisdom and stop gossiping, to have a bigger mind of wisdom and Shastra. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thanks so much, Prabhu. Yeah, I mean, Srila Prabhupada is giving these 4 regulations. Sometimes we may take them for granted, or we think, Prabhupada, why is, why you being so hard on us? Why all these regulations? But they're also connected, and these 4 regulations, they're for a protection. And also, the 4 regulations shows that the people who are not following the 4 regulations, what's that leading to? If you're not doing austerity, you're drinking alcohol. Alcohol causes so many problems. Drinking and driving problems, and then illicit relationships. A lot of them happen because both parties are, had too much to drink, like that. So, and meat eating, like we're killing innocent animals, again, and gambling is also a problem. That people lose so much, they can lose their. Well, we know from the Pandavas they proved what gambling can eventually lead to. So, and people, they earn good money, and then they go and blow it at a casino or in a card game, and then they're crying after. I've seen people crying because they lost all their wages. So like that. So all these things, that they are these 4 things. When they're not controlled, you can see what's happening in the world, and it's happening because those 4 things, 4 regulations, are not being followed. It's very important. They're followed by everyone, which is unlikely to happen straight away, but it can change. It can change the game, right? It's a game changer. These 4 regulations, but we must endeavor to help people, as many as we can. Thanks so much, Prabhu. Praveen Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yes, very nice verses. So we can clearly see all these things happening, how there's decline in religious, social, moral values. So we're seeing that, and Prabhupada has written this will happen, and it is already happening. And the worrying thing is, it's only 5,000 into Kali Yuga and 427,000 years still left. But like you said, hopefully we will not be here. So we don't want to experience that, because it really worries. Even thinking of next 10 years, 5 years, I'm thinking how bad it's going to get. So, and we can see, like Arjuna in the previous chapter, Pandavas, they realized it's all because of Krishna's not there. So they felt they haven't got the power. The same Arjuna, he felt like he can't do anything without Krishna. So, and that is the main cause, spiritual disconnection from the Supreme. So people, they just think they are God, and, they, why you want to do this? And I remember conversations like, oh, children are educated, and oh, why you're thinking of all these things now? People are thinking, well, if you got a BA, MA, and you're educated, and you move away from God. So we just have to connect. And this morning, what we read in Chaitanya Charitamrita as well, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is instructing, it's my order, I want everyone to be a guru. So what I realized was, like, yes, we can be a guru. We have to become very good devotees, sincere devotees, so everybody can see what we are doing, and then inspire people from our behavior, how we conduct ourselves. And we have to be happy devotees, not miserable. So people will say, oh, why do I want to be a devotee? And like yesterday, Mataji also said, like, it was auspicious, very auspicious day. And they said the constellation was same as 540 years ago. And then I was thinking how fortunate we are to experience that. So we are really in a really good position. So all we have to do is really follow and be good devotees and take the path sincerely and read Srila Prabhupada's books as much as possible. And I don't know what we would have been doing, Prabhuji, if it wasn't for Srila Prabhupada. Honestly, it just worries you. And yeah, but thank you so much for taking your time as well and guiding us all the time. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you. Ajay Prabhu?
Hare Krishna. Yes, it's quite sad actually reading these verses because you see the pain that both the Dharma personified in terms of bull and Mother Earth personified as the cow are going through, especially with regard to Mother Earth. She's suffering immense pain because she was previously she was in contact with Krishna constantly through him being on his lotus feet, being in contact with her as he's walking on the earth. And now she's lost that contact. Therefore, her pain is exceptional it's painful for everybody, but for her, it's exceptionally painful. And these verses explain what kind of suffering she's going through. And as the devotees have explained, this pain is increasing further and further. It's something that is kind of ignored at times due to ignorance, that we are in pain, that the world, people are suffering, and that's why these temporary solutions such as alcohol and other forms of sense gratification are used because people refuse to accept that actually there's a problem and needs a solution, a real solution, not just a temporary band-aid that might make you forget your problems, but then next day you're back to the square one. If anything, it might be worse because you abused yourself, whether mentally or physically. And now rather than facing the actual solution, facing the problem at hand, you're going further away from it. You're looking for further options to try and ignore the actual issue. And that's why there's, again, many devotees have mentioned the importance of Prabhupada's teachings, that it helps us come to terms with what we're dealing with and rely on the true solution that is bhakti. We cannot, that's why it's so important. We need the good association, we need the chanting, we need we have the hearings, preaching. It's all there for our own benefit. If we just take to it, it's so much better. That's something we always need to try to encourage others as well. We can do that not only obviously for those that are junior to you, it's in terms of instruction, but even then, all that are senior to you, if they see you're prospering in your bhakti, that encourages them as well. That inspires them that actually that amongst all the craziness in the world, there is what their efforts are to bring fruit, because they can feel discouraged if things are going bad to worse. They think my efforts aren't they're not paying heed. It's not something that's going wrong somewhere. But they see new devotees or existing devotees that they're prospering their bhakti, and that encourages them. And then they're very much surrendered to Krishna. It is always it's always good that you can provide a positive influence for them as well, even if you're junior to them. You can still help them in that. They see that actually, yes, they are listening to me. They're listening to Prabhupada. And that's the wonderful thing. You can not only help yourself, you can help those on the same level as you, but you also help those that are senior to you as well. It's a beautiful thing that Prabhupada has given us. And yeah, so stick to bhakti really. It's just solution is there. It's working for many of us, and we just need to be aware what we need to do to keep improving. And if we do that, then yes, we just rely on Krishna, and Krishna will take care of the rest. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Radharani?
Hare Krishna everyone, my pranams to all of you, and I hope you all are recharged from yesterday's festival. Yes, the constellation was perfect and everything was good, but end of the day, it's Krishna's mercy who were there to have that mercy. So, Krishna has got mercy for everyone, but everyone has got the free will, and that's why everyone is in their own rung. And some are like those the Gyanis, they are in the different rung, the Karmis on the different rung, the atheists on the different rung. It's because of our free will all this has been created. Why Kali Yuga is there? It's all because of the free will of the jivas. The Kali Yuga is there, and as these verses tell us that the principles of the dharma are left only 1/4 now in this Kali Yuga. But as we all have seen that when we were children, how the technology and how the people were at that time is completely changed now. The game is completely changing day by day, year by year. It's all because of the free will the Lord has given to each and every jiva, and how each and every jiva is exercising their free will uh, is uh, is the result of what we see, what's happening. And but we remember that how Krishna tells us in Bhagavad-Gita, yada yada hi dharmasya. So at the moment, whenever the irreligion or the bad qualities of the dharma are in rise, then Krishna has to take the step. And that's why we in the further cantos you will read, Prabhupada tells in the purports that these wars come because Krishna has to, come to filter the ones which are causing a lot of trouble, and that's the result of these wars, why these wars happen. And it's not that everything will come to end, or it's not that after the war's finished, it becomes like a, so to speak, the Ram Rajya effect. There'll be good and the bad always, because Krishna has to fulfill each and every jiva's desire. There is a certain outlet for the persons who want to eat burgers of certain kinds, and then there's a certain places in the temples, in special temples like ours, we know, where people can get the sattvic food, the prasad is sattvic, and so Krishna has provided each and every one. For example, today is Holi in our Bharat, in our India. So it's being enjoyed. It symbolizes, yesterday was, day before was Holika Dahan. Yesterday they didn't play in India because of the lunar eclipse. But today they are playing and enjoying, but we know it will be enjoyed at the level of the each and every individual's consciousness. Some will be getting themselves drunk just in the name of Holi, and then wake up with all confused and waste their holiday. And others, they will go to certain temples where they're playing Holi with the flowers, or maybe in other temples they will or places they will play with the colors which have been offered to the lordships. So food wise as well, there's sattvic food you can enjoy, keep your consciousness clear. And there's other kinds of food which will just make you all irritated, agitated. So how merciful is Krishna? He is giving mercy to everyone, isn't it? So like in Bhagavatam we read Rantidev, King Rantidev's example, how much compassionate he was, giving the last morsel of the food to the one who he was going to open his fast. Somebody knocked at his door. Okay, you have it. Having a sip of water, somebody knocked. Okay, you can have it. So this is the kind of passion Lord has shown in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So this is what the compassion, compassion is needed from the Vaishnavas, or all of us who are on this call. We have embraced Vaishnavism. That's why we have to distribute Prabhupada's books. Prabhupada said that I'll be here in my books, and these will be here until the golden age of bhakti will be there. So just imagine, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam will be lost after the golden age. The temples will be gone, because this is a cycle. Krishna has to do everything, and then when this Kali Yuga will finish, we all of us jivas will be just lying dormant, and then another yugas will start, and according to the karmas we'll get attendance in certain yuga, in a certain species in with a certain consciousness. So once we have understood, we become very careful. If we are hungry outside, we don't get agitated. If we say, okay, we can have some fruits, we can wait for the prasad. Or if we are totally stuck, for example, in a different country, then we can relax the rules a little bit, because you got to eat. But Prabhupada has taken so much trouble, and when you think that he was at a certain age, when people, they just take things so easy, he could have relaxed. He was a businessman. He gave up his business and became a sannyasi because of his compassion. So he's like the Ranti Dev, he's like the King Shivi, or like Buddha of the present Kali Yuga. This is how I was thinking just now. And he took all the pains for all of us. And after understanding, if we still think that, okay, let me just go through this life, because I don't think I have got the staying power or the ability, then we will lose this opportunity, because we don't know next time we'll get a human birth or not. Even if we get human birth, we'll get in a family which is prosperous. At least we don't have to think of the square meals, just we'll be just worrying for earning our livings, or we'll be in a family where there's too much enjoyment. So if there's too much money in a family, that is also trouble, if the sanskars, if the Vaishnavism is not there. And if you're born in a family which has got all the sanskars and everything, but the money is not there, then it is also a problem. So at the moment, we all are situated in a nicely plane in our lives, that we are not extravagant in our riches, and we are not overly poor in the poverty. Our existence is not in the poverty line kind of thing. And I think this is also because we have embraced Krishna consciousness. We are trying to do bhakti. Because of this bhakti, Krishna is providing us just enough to be cushioned. Our minds are peaceful. We can sleep. We can get up in the morning without the fear that, we've got to have some meal on the table, and the bills and this and that. So that's why they say, once you take bhakti, Krishna will take care of everything else. So it's like bhakti is like a flower we have to peel and understand. And these were my realization in Vrindavan, that each time you go to Vrindavan, each time you go to Dham, it has got peels and peels and layers which just open up and explain about them to you. So thank you so much. I've taken so much time of your time, but anyway, you'll forgive me. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. So we'll have two more days on this, Friday and Monday, and then we should finish this chapter. Wednesday we can have the overview.
Amazing.
With the Guru Seva Prabhu from Coventry. Is really, really good. So I'm really looking forward to that. So overview next Wednesday. We've got 2 more sessions, Friday and Monday. So look forward to that. Thank you all so much for your inputs. Granthra Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Śrīmad ki jai, Gaur Premanande. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Till next time.
Thank you.
One overboard.